Good evening, everyone. Hope I am audible.
Very much.
Welcome all of you to another interesting session of our monthly program of PMCP, Project Managers Club of Pune. Today's session is something I think everybody will be eager to learn and understand and share their views, because it's all about resolving conflicts. And as everybody knows, conflict is nothing new to us. Everybody understands what it is, and we have been generally struggling to get a better answer around it. How do I manage it? How do I do it with pleasing everyone? Can I please everyone? What is the context around it? So to walk us through this session, we have our very good friend Vivek Prakash, who is going to take us through this session. An interesting topic, I'm sure. And what do I say if I have to introduce Vivek? No? He has been a torchbearer of project management for the long time now. More than 20 years, he has been active in project management space. He has been an active volunteer in PMI, holding valuable volunteer positions for India as well as the global roles. And he has been running his own consultancy, which is also focused on project management, pmwares, a well-known organization now around providing the best practices in project management. In addition to all these, he has got some interesting roles which he can talk about. He is a very active Rotarian, and he is also active in the social world. So I'm sure he will have enough experiences and examples to quote regarding conflict, not just the commercial or the corporate world. Over to you, Vivek.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for telling all these so nice things about me. And okay, so let's get started with this.
Yeah, somebody has an issue with an audio. I hope things are resolved. And as usual, please keep posting your queries, everything on chat box. I'll be helping you navigate through it while the session is on.
True. So let's start this. I have few things like the outline which I put up, like getting into really a little understanding of what is conflict, from where they come, are they good, bad, and I look forward for your views actually on this, because we all face some conflicts as such, and how we can move into a resolution mode. And if we cannot resolve them, or we are not finding any way of resolving, how to act in that situation. I will try to bring a lot of different perspective as such, and see if we can have a better understanding to resolve or to handle the conflicts as such. So, what is a conflict actually? A kind of disagreement, some argument, some clash of interest, different beliefs. What your people opinion? Anybody like to share that what you think like a conflict can be? Something which I probably might have not mentioned here, or something else can also be considered. Any views on this? What is a conflict?
Somebody has listed as difference in priorities.
Differences in priorities. Okay. Timeline.
Conflicts between overcommitment of salespeople to service.
Overcommitment to the salespeople, the service. That is one of the conflict between keep going on between sales and the deliveries.
And that will happen, and they affect the schedule of the project.
Right, right. I think you have interesting things. I will come back to you to share your experience and understanding in this area. So, where like a particular resource two people want, they may have a conflicts because we don't know where it should go. We have something to be done at the same time, but the resource is only one. So we can have a difference of opinion or different agendas to accomplish at the same time from the same place or from the same tools or same project or same situation actually. And that may create conflicts because we see if we allow other people to take advantage, we will be at disadvantage and the other person may be thinking in the similar way. So this is what actually give rise to the conflict. Depending upon the people action, anxiety or discomfort increases depending upon how much is on the stake. Higher the stakes, higher the anxiety, higher the bothering, worriness, and probably lead to some. And long term, if it continues, probably lead to some kind of health issues as well. So it's not good. If conflicts persist, it is not good for even for the health. Not people cannot think very in a healthy manner. Not only the physical body health, it is the mental health also if the problem or the conflict persists. So we need to find out some kind of solutions, but let's dig into what will happen if the conflicts do not resolve, or let's understand because the root cause from where the conflicts come. Like you said, many of examples like resources, scheduling, timeline, these are basically are the source of conflicts. Many times the source look like very straightforward, but actually that is just a playground to play. This conflict lies somewhere else. I have some ego issues, but I present it as conflict of time, conflict of resource. And if that happens, probably it may be even difficult to resolve. Now, what like this, many of this you have already mentioned, like different culture. Yeah, culture bring background, and background actually change the people's opinion. So difference of opinion may be reason for the conflicts. Knowledge gap. One person knows something, other person does not know, does not have cannot imagine those things. What will happen? That will result into some kind of conflict. You want other person to do something. Because of knowledge gap, he think differently and therefore want to do things differently. And therefore, we have different ways to go. Look at this. Conflicts are not only in professional world, they are in the personal world also. There is a age gap, there is a generation gap, and generation gap conflicts are quite common almost in every home, where the son or daughter and the father and mother do not agree on one thing. And because they say their way of thinking different. Father brings the experience, but the son is something like is a new generation person, talk about something which probably he thinks that father might not be knowing. And the same way father may think that the son may not be knowing, and that's why they do not understand each other and have different way to go. Very simple. And these conflict probably persist for a long time in the same home. Many things go around, but these things do persist. And the same way in the office, when the project manager and the team members, they have a difference of opinion, and because their knowledge is different, because their opinions are different, because their understanding are different, and many times the clashes among the stakeholders are just because their interests are different. They have different goal to achieve. So there is a project, there are stakeholders, and from the same project, everybody has to achieve it's their own goal, which are actually be set by the same organization mostly. But they have, when both or all people probably can achieve these goals together when they have a lot of coordination and very good coordination among them, but that looks like a distant dream that they will be having a very healthy coordination and everybody work for achieving goals of everyone. That's a pretty ideal situation. Anybody has something to share? I don't know. I can. Okay. So many times the lot of conflicts are just because of the personality. Personality generally developed the way you grow up. Right? You grow up, you have culture around, you have people around, the thought process going around, the living style, all these together make your personality and what kind of interaction you have in a day-to-day life that create your personality. And that people having different personality, generally people have different personality, and they may not go along, and ultimately clashes happen. Sometimes they are serious as such and have serious repercussions. The question arises, this is all fine. We see all negative impacts of these conflicts, but are conflicts really bad? So anybody like to share opinion? Are the conflicts bad? No. Okay.
It depends on the situation. Like
Okay.
if that conflict of interest is for the benefit of the project, then maybe those disagreements can be counted, and then they can be weighed and then chosen the best among them, or the one which is suitable for the project to go ahead.
Okay. 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 Makes sense. Yes. I think interesting. Okay. Okay. I think useful during brainstorming. Healthy conflicts are good for process improvement. Okay. So most of the people, I think whatever the responses I am getting, all are positive responses. The people say that conflicts are not bad. But do we really bother about these conflicts? Do we fear these conflicts happen and sometimes feel stressed because of these conflicts? Do we feel sometimes stressed? Yes.
Vivek,
Yes.
I think because we have been last 10, 15 years, we have been habituated to handle every day so many conflicts
Mm.
that probably that threshold or that differentiation, that life without conflict and life with conflict, there is no such distinction, because
Yeah.
there are so many issues in terms of processes in the organization that so many conflicts are repetitively happening, which can be avoided if certain processes are taken care, if the job responsibility documents are taken care, if certain approaches are adopted, if the right technologies are adopted, then probably life can be much more easier than what we are going through right now. Right now, it's all morning starts with a conflict, evening ends with a conflict.
Yeah. And the whole day is very stressful.
Yeah.
And the whole day is very stressful.
Yes, and we have assumed, or we have considered that this is part and parcel of the corporate profile or a
Right.
corporate job, and nothing can be done about it. So we just try to somehow navigate out of it. And there is too much of a mental stress because of this conflict. So I would not say conflicts are good. They are maybe for company's perspective, maybe cross-functional department perspective, it may be good. But in a corporate scenario, the conflicts are taking a toll of a mental health.
And the daily, so much of stress and so much of health issues we are talking about, they are mainly coming because of, I think, serious conflicts, and which are persisting, keep going on, and we don't find any way out of them.
Yes, true.
People don't realize that, most of the stress is coming because of the conflicts. We have difference of opinion, we have some way of going, but we are not finding ways of reaching there or finding any way out of it. And then when we do not find, it becomes little irritated, we get little stressed, and because the life become uncertain. The main reason behind stress is the uncertainty, and unresolved conflicts bring uncertainty, because we don't know how to get away from this, how to get to a common solution. Most of the time, I'm not sure, but most of the time I feel our approach to these conflicts, or even realizing that it is a conflict that has to be resolved, we have to sit together and resolve it. Though when I said, are conflict bad, most of the people are saying, no, conflicts are not bad. But, when you say, do you get the stress from these conflicts? The answer is yes. So, this ironical, right? Something good, but stressful. So, why the conflicts become stressful? Because they are not handled properly. If they are carefully handled, properly handled, I think the conflicts will be good, and they will not be that stressful. There are two things we need to do actually. First, we have to accept that this is bound to happen, because we are living in a world where different people have difference of opinion, different way of working, different thought process, different interest, and different agendas. Most important, different agendas, especially hidden agendas, not expressly told, not visible to the other people. People can guess, but other person does not specify that, but probably may be working for it. How to get through this? Let's look at it. If conflicts are not appropriately handled, what will happen? It will lead to destructive behavior, some kind of like stress, anxiety level getting increased, performance going to degrade. The above three things are enough for performance to degrade. So if we are continuous in conflicts, probably we are not working at our optimal level. Actually, the kind of work we can do, we are not able to demonstrate that if we are having consistently. Poor performance lead to reduction in the productivity. Consistently happening, the people will find some other way. When we do not find any ways of how to get through it, we run away. We try to find some solution somewhere. But the other organization, when we join, it will be the same situation. It will not be different. Yeah, so I see the Abhi is saying that we need to aim for a win-win situation, but to attain it is not easy. Yes, we need to handle with care and with the patience. We need to see from the other's perspective too. Exactly. Very good. Okay, good. So attrition happen because people find some other heavens, some other place, or say, okay, here this organization have too many things. It's very difficult to work here. I cannot work in this environment. I cannot demonstrate my performance. It cannot be, I will never be able to perform in this way. So let's find some other way. But you know what happens when they go in some other organization? Unfortunately, the similar situation is there. When similar situation is there, they really find, no, what should we do? But employee attrition to increase. You know, more human people are there, more humans are there, more conflicts are going to come and higher the attrition. In the all industry, IT industry has the maximum attrition because it is human resource intensive industry. Everything is done by people, no machine, no raw material. Anything getting consumed is the human capital. And if they drain out, I will really say they are getting consumed there because they are draining out. Disintegrated team. One person is going this way, one person is going other way. As a result, achieving goal become a distant dream. I've seen projects which are actually like are closed prematurely because team is just not going along. And projects are closed because this team cannot complete this project. Probably you have to find some other team, some other people and get it done. And overall, because we focus a lot on project managers or any managers in his place has an onus because the responsibility of taking the project to the success lies on project manager. So these conflicts will go away, will be resolved amicably. That's important. Right? Correct? On the other side, if conflicts are resolved amicably or properly or attended properly, taken in a proactively and facilitated for resolution, we had several benefits, just opposite of that. Just opposite of that. So I would like to I will ask people if you can, anybody can share his experience with getting the positive result or negative result or how conflicts are happening, some experiences with working with same team or other groups or other stakeholders in the team. I think we have be having several such incidences and some examples people can share. Anybody would like to share? Nitin sir, you were talking about some sales and delivery people, they overcome it and such kind of things. Would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, it's Nitin. Of course, our managers are duty will not be established if conflicts are not there. So our job is totally depend on the conflicts to resolve it and to conduct the show.
Right. You have some experience with the salespeople or something like they overcommitting. You're talking about that.
Yes, yes. Always a sales and service, there will be a conflicts. Always a production and maintenance, there will be a conflicts. Because production will always blame maintenance for non-achievement of the targets. And maintenance will blame production for not achieving the, not
Your
following
voice
the
breaking.
rules
Okay.
and
Okay.
not taking the cares of the machines. That conflicts are always there in each and every manufacturing industries. And on field, sales and service conflicts are always there. But unfortunately, 99% cases, management supports salesperson. And that is why the service engineers in market are very less.
Right. And the management has the hand is there on the salesperson because he bring revenue, and
Also,
therefore.
yeah, correct. I'm actually a services person, and
Hmm.
services also brings a revenue to management.
But the money is collected by salesperson, right?
Because it's a total sale. So total sale definition means you have to sell and you have to bring the money.
True.
That's the case.
Right.
But
So
bringing money, they simply put it on the services. Installation is not perfect, the training is not perfect, and so many things customer hold the payment. That's a standard answer.
Okay. So you will say that salespeople are dear to management and the service people are normally held accountable for bringing the money. And that's
Correct.
why the fight between the sales and service keep going on.
Yeah, I'm consulting to many of the clients also. Many places, service engineers are complaining me that they don't have time. They don't have time to arrange service trainings, to arrange service camps and something like that. Because they have to always solve the conflicts.
Right.
So if this thing will be limited, then sales and service will go in hands, then the results are wonderful.
Okay, good. Anybody else would like to share?
Yes, Vivek. Kalyan here, if
Yes,
I may. So there are two scenarios which I can think of. One is typically we have with our customer, with our important stakeholders, with our sponsor, where we have gaps in understanding the basis itself, the project, what is the project we are looking for, what are we talking about. So there are a lot of gaps usually because of communication issues, a lot of assumptions which have been made. So that gives rise to conflict. I am more concerned about conflict of a project manager with as an individual and the role he or she is playing for the organization. That is more concerning for me because doesn't get addressed, because they have that worry. How do I open up? To whom do I speak to? How do I manage that conflict? So that is more stressful on that individual. I would like to know something more how to that can be handled.
True. Yeah, sure. I have one more opinion of Hari Prasad. Actually, he's saying the conflict happen on the priorities. Discussion with the concerned stakeholder to understand the gap. All the stakeholders should be informed on project priorities to understand and overcome from the personal priorities. Ultimately, goal is to be the project success, data-driven methodology, and for conclusions. Right, absolutely right. This is what should happen. But at the end of the day, everybody work for what's in it for me, not my organization or not my friend or not my project manager or not my support or reports. Actually, everybody works for what's in it for me, whether as a personal person I'm getting benefited or not. For example, if anybody is working on the project, what he talks about, he is concerned about that working on this project, whether I will get a raise in my, or will I get the promotion, or will I get higher salaries or not. These are personal priorities and they go along with the project, and they have a clash with the project priorities.
Correct.
Project manager focusing on project objective, and this team member or the people working on the team, they are working for this, but they also concern about whether they will get something out of it or not. And there is nothing wrong in that. Everybody is like that. You and me are also like that. Isn't the CEO of the company, when given excellent performance, want a raise?
Yes.
A 10 crore salary can become 15 or 20 crores. No, isn't it? So if a poor team member is expecting how his salary will be raised through this project, it's a part of the project, because he gets the salary raised through working on the project only. He has not to do something different. And when he sees project is going well, but probably he may not get anything, do you think he will remain interested in the project? And don't you think this is a conflict, and very much conflict there? His performance will degrade. He will not be interested. He will not do with the work with the heart, because he thinks he will get disinterested. His performance will degrade and the project will suffer. Isn't it like that? So getting a raise, promotion, is a personal priority or is a project priority? So that is what the point.
It's a personal priority.
It's a personal priority, but it happens through project only, right?
Because it will be judged with that project, no?
Correct. So
Judged
it
with
will
the
be
performance of that project.
right.
Expected as a parameter.
Right. So you see, the person has to take this as an agenda, because nobody else will be thinking about it, right? He also has, we only can think about it. So he has to get this also done through the same project. And that's where the natural conflicts come into picture. Project manager can say the person can keep thinking about himself, but probably the project manager is not addressing his concern. If the project manager address this person concerns and he get pacify on that side, kind of assurance or kind of hope that what is going to happen, either right, wrong, or whatever, or address that thing, the conflict will be resolved. So we need to see from the holistic point of view. It's not about only project priorities. It is also about people, stakeholders working on the project, their own personal priorities, which will be going to be addressed through this project.
So, sir, can we say it is kind of while managing stakeholders, we need to take care about their needs and wants also?
Yes. They look personal, and probably they are, but need to be, but they are part and parcel of this game only. Let's look into this. What is happening actually? Look at this. This is very much relevant in the project term, and especially in achieving goals. When you have to achieve a goal, you actually form a project. You build a team. The team come. When you achieve the project objectives, you actually adjourn the team. But there are several stages. The Tuckman very wisely put this phenomena. What happens when the team comes? Team is formed. Team come from different people, come from different angle, different side, different culture, different thought process, different beliefs, right? Different priorities. No two people have same priorities, right? Quite possible, it's bound to happen. They're going to have some kind of conflicts with them, which is actually called as storming there. Storming means the conflict among the people. Now, when the conflict happen among the people, which is bound to happen, if the team or the project manager or the manager there or the leader there take a proactive approach to this conflict, he can sort that out faster and help them normalize their conflicts easier. The people can start understanding each other, start accommodating them, the other person's need into their needs, help aligning their needs together. So they are not conflicting, but they are going together. That's what we need to do. We are people in the same team. We cannot go with the opposite side. We have to go the same side and achieve objective of everyone. So they start normalizing, accommodating each other in this. And when it happens, after that, when they align, then only they can perform. Now, in the whole equation, the matter need to be understood is this, that how much time the team spend at storming stage and how much time they spend at the performing stage. If they spend more time at storming stage, they are not able to resolve their conflicts. You get a little time for performance. Project get delayed, project get extended, and probably the stakeholders find it unviable. They may even close the project because it's just not going anywhere. And all project and personal priorities are all mixed up here. In fact, more conflicts happen through personal conflicts, not through project conflicts, project priorities.
बोल रहा हूँ, कौन बात कर रहा है?
Right? So most of the conflicts are coming because of the personal priorities, not because of the project priorities. But when the project priorities and personal priorities get aligned, they get normalized. And project manager and the managers in the team has to facilitate this, make sure that it is happening through this project. Not only project objectives are getting achieved, but people's objectives are also getting achieved. And when it happens, the performance will be the way to go. You get a lot of time for performance and the project flourish. You get your project achieved well in time or maybe before time. Right? Let's look at this.
Sir,
Yeah.
about in the storming stage,
Right.
what I understood means what I practice actually. So I create, in my experience, I create some kind of ground rules for the team.
Mm-hmm.
So by that way, team or do some team building activity kind of in a casual way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's way the team can work together and perform well.
Right? These are good measures, actually. These are good measures which we are talking about. But we need to also sure that they are really get aligned, because that is more related to thought process and the mindset of the people. And yes, they are good measures, but we need to ensure it is happening, because even with these measures, it may not happen.
Okay.
So they are good measures. They need to be done, such kind of things to be done. But the manager has to see that, or the leader has to see that, ensure that these measures he is taking or she is taking are really reflecting into the getting them aligned to the project priorities. Along with that. So team get along, this is good, team building exercise is good, but at the end of the day, they expect some return from the project. If those are not aligned, the things may still be there. Same there. Let's look at this. Look at this situation. Have you seen such a scenario anytime? When team members do not respond, they remain mum, whatever you say, okay. There are things, but they don't say, they don't speak out.
Yes, sir. This happens many times because in general meetings also many people they keep mum
Yeah,
because they think that if we point out something, the responsibility it will come to him or her. That then he has to work on those particular points, and if it is at lower order, then definitely those things it will be his responsibility afterwards to complete that task.
right. So if they speak out, the owners will come to them, because that's the, why it is happening? Because that is what is they have observed in previous meetings.
Yes, it is.
Right. One
Yeah.
way to come out is to share the responsibility on each team member individually.
Yeah, but that's not happening.
Yeah, I see that this is more towards the culture of organization, and yeah, and as he's rightly said, like maybe there is a president set it up earlier. Like if I bring up if a question, then the answer also will be sought from myself. If that is the point, then we'll have a gap. Yeah, but it's again it's all depend on how we manage each of the situation. So
True. So it can happen in two ways. Like if the precedence is like that the responsibility will be normally put on the person who raised the issue. That is one thing. Second thing, the manager is not very open, and the people fear that it may come badly on them, or some kind of negative things, perception can be created on them, some kind of negativity, some kind of negative impact they see if they speak out, because environment has been created like that in the previous incidences, right? This happened over a period of time.
actually, I would like to add one more aspect.
Yeah.
I had seen is that like sometimes team won't be opening up in the whole forum, and maybe after the meeting, the post meeting, they may come back and tell that I thought about this thing, but I don't want to tell during the meeting because others may feel bad or for one reason or another.
Quite possible.
Yeah, so some things happen. Yep. But sometimes we think that it's better to talk in the forum so that for us to solve the problem or to address this, so it would be easier. We'll get a collaborative effort from other members also. But at times we get into this. So next meeting or this thing, I'll bring up this point, and then we'll try to close it. Or we need to have a subsequent meeting because otherwise we won't get others' viewpoints also. So
True. This is quite better, actually, quite good situation where the person had at least spoken off the scene, at least has spoken. But the worst case scenario where the people have not spoken altogether. You know what the surveys and research says? Most of the problems on, or most of the which strike the project and give a severe damage to the project, those problems, before they actually develop and damage the project, they were already knowing to most of the team members, or at least some team members. The problems were simmering, and they were getting aggravated, and one day they hit the project, and the people know about them, but they didn't speak out. Most of the cases, not some cases, most of the cases, this is what happened. If I raise, this will happen. If I raise, this will happen. If I raise, this will happen. The reason is that the manager is not accepting in a very cordial manner the feedback which is giving to the manager. So that is where the people fear, and they do not speak about the project, about the problem. They do not bring the fish on the table, and this is happens. They fear. So it is a withdrawal situation. I will talk about that. So I have one more example actually here, and I will show you a video, a very famous movie actually, and probably this happens every now and then, and you will find that. Let me just. Okay. So this is quite common, right? Project manager is going somewhere else and team is going somewhere else. Isn't it? Team is not enough motivated to do the things which we are actually expecting them to do. Isn't it the daily scenario in the project also? Or is it not a project? What do you think? Anybody, any opinion on this?
It is like the objective of the project objective is not properly communicated to the team, or the team, the project objective are differ from the individual objective, or maybe we say personal objectives.
Okay. So how the project objectives will be communicated to them? I think it's very clear that this person wants them to be make them a great Pahalwan, right? Is it not clear to the girls?
Can I add?
Yeah.
Just in my new thought is there that if it is the situation in military operations like surgical strike or any military operations going on, then this situation will never arise. People are always, because of the military disciplines. The same has to be, if we will implement over here, results can be good.
That's the difference between military and day-to-day life. That's why you are not able to replicate what is happening in the military in your project.
Right. Or one thing might be that manager may not be able to understand what is the project perfectly.
But in this case, it is not like that. This is a very committed person. He has to make it happen. And it is very clear to the girls that what he is talking about. And the level of commitment is also there. The hairs are cut.
I want to add one aspect here. I see that here maybe manager is more committed than team, and because it is said that manager called a team meeting and the plan was more or less ready. So I believe the team was not part of the putting together the plan. I mean, so somehow team is outside and manager is inside, or like team don't want to come because they were not part of the planning. Maybe
quite possible.
Yeah,
quite possible. Or team does not believe that this can happen.
Yeah. Or they are not motivated, or they're not inspired to, or they have one or the other roadblocks are there, or they are seeing that roadblocks only.
Or they think, or they think the objective is too audacious, actually, right?
Yeah.
It cannot be achieved. This is a step in a wrong direction. Probably the team thinking like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So let's look into that, how we can act on these conflicts. This is very famous things. I think you might have seen it. But we need to see that we need to move into a resolution mode instead of management mode. Just to maintain this, I have a diabetes, I can take some goalies and then continue with the diabetes for the rest of the year. I don't have any resolution, but this is not diabetes, right? This can be resolved. This can be cured. This need not to be maintained. So what happens most of the time, like in this case or in the previous case, like the precedents have been said, are more of a force. Opinion will not be heard, and that's why people are not opening up and they withdraw, right? They do not bring the fish on the table to discuss and find out the solution. Why? Because the force have been applied so far. In this case also, and what Dr. Jebhai says that also that the previous incidences are like that. The people open up or stand up, say something, and the responsibility is put on him only, because leader does not know who should handle it. So you handle it because you have raised the point. And so all these are generally of act of force that result into withdrawal of the team. Now, probably in this case, there is no withdrawal. The team is trying to fight back, but I don't know, the kind of force is there, they will be able to win it or not. That's a different thing. But there is a fight going on between the father and the girls, right? And in other case also, the manager is talking about it is plan, team is listening and don't say anything. It's a sign of withdrawal. Team does not want to raise the point and discuss. And what happens? It's a lose-win scenario. If you compromise something, you give something, that is anyway lose-lose scenario. But even win-lose and lose-win in the long term convert into lose-lose scenario. How? Let's take an example. You are a manufacturer. You want some part to be bought up from a vendor. You selected a vendor. Situation is not very good in the market. Vendors are having situations where they cannot, they do not have enough business probably. You take the situation high, or in the whole negotiations with the vendor, you're as a customer or as a situation, you have a you are in better position, and you negotiate very hard with the vendor and make him agree on a price less than comfortable to the vendor, right? That's a kind of force we don't want to talk about. Okay, what happens? Agreed upon. So the contract is signed. The vendor will start supplying. But you know what happened? When vendor will start supplying, he will try to win back. How? What he has lost in the negotiations, by cutting corners, by making parts just fit for acceptance. That means if to pass, you have a range of even 40% you get, you will pass, or even 100% you get, you will pass. Vendor will say that, okay, let's just make it 40% because that is necessary to pass. But there is a lot of things to be done from 40 to 100%, right? Passing in third class and passing with distinction has a lot of difference. So what the vendor will do, it will cut corners, will try to minimize his cost to win over the price he has lost in the negotiation because of this situation. Now look at the scenario that why it is a lose-lose scenario. What is happening when after some time when the vendor is delivering? Customer want the product he is not getting. He's getting a very, very minimal product, which probably he may be realizing that he has not, that it is not that satisfactory, but it is meeting all the criteria. Second thing, the vendor need the price, but he's not getting the price. Vendor is not getting the price, customer is not getting the product. Means the stakeholder, what they want, they are not getting, they're getting anything less than that. So isn't it a loss-loss scenario? And that's what happened actually. If you keep forcing people in the team and do not listen to their opinion, not respecting them, what will happen? You have higher attrition in the way. The team cannot speak out. What they will do, they have an opportunity, they will exit and go. So you lose the person, and the person does not get the right environment. Probably, I don't know what will happen to the next, but at least for this team, the attritions are higher because of the managers, not because of the organization. Maybe organization also, because how the manager behave is largely also depend upon the organization. So organization has a role, may not be as much as the direct manager, but at least it has. So what we need to do is to achieve win-win. That is the only way to settle and resolve the conflict. If we are not reaching to a win-win situation, we have to do permutation, combination, this way, that way, keep working for getting a win-win situation until we reach to a win-win situation. Otherwise, this conflict is not resolved. If we are settled with win and lose, you are going to lose tomorrow. If you are satisfied with your win and the loss of other person, it will convert into loss. Suppose he is not able to give you a poor quality product, you don't allow anything, and you're getting a decent product, he is not getting a decent price, fair enough, no problem. But tomorrow when the vendor has his hand full and want to drop one customer, that will be you. And what happened? You have to find another vendor and go through the whole process of finding another vendor. Maybe more frequently. So only way stability can come is when we find a win-win solution. But how to find a win-win solution? That's the matter, right? So I have keep studying this. I keep talking and keep discussing, keep understanding, keep also following people that who have shared their views on this. I found this quite interesting. This George Colliser is a host, basically a hostess negotiator. Has put his 20-25 years in doing this. So he is always trying to handling a conflict which is quite serious, where a person has taken a hostage another person, and probably sometimes life-threatening actually. So he put his experience and had written a book, and also have done seminars for the corporate people, that how that learning can be put into corporate. So he has come out with something, how to achieve a win-win. And that those points are quite good as such, in my opinion. And that's why I bought it. I am not fond of this person, but I found these points are quite good. So I wanted and try to give the attributes to the person. What he says that create a bond. Emotions are important in resolving conflicts. When he says create a bond, means create emotional bond. Let's say you are sympathetic and empathetic to the person with whom you are having a conflict and ready to talk. Your adversary, or with whom you want to negotiate or want to resolve it, you have a sympathy and empathy about that person. You try to understand other person. Let the communication keep going on. Do not allow communication to break down at any point of time. You keep enough space, so you remain diplomatic. Okay. Now, many people find this word diplomatic is little in poor light. They say, what is diplomatic? And they're like, you are telling something which is not there, right? Yeah, I understand. The truth should be told, but truth can be told in an appropriate time, and maybe appropriately sugar coated, so that it looks sweet. You know, you might have heard this sentence, कि सच तो बहुत कड़वा ही होता है, yeah, the truth is always bitter. I don't think says truth is bitter or sweet. Truth has no taste actually. But the way we tell matters. Generally, when we are telling truth, we are little become arrogant because we are telling truth and tell in a manner which become bitter. So it's not the truth which is bitter, but actually it is the way we tell. So what the diplomatic ways tell is that be kind to the other person when you are communicating a truth which may be offensive or which may be unpleasant to the other person. And the communication will break down if you do that. And to continue with the communication, it's important that we maintain some kind of healthy communication with the person, may understand the other person's emotions and the things which may hit his emotions. Probably we little play down. Maybe you have time, you can actually talk little later also, but look for a good time. Third is put fish on the table, put problem on the table. Why put the problem on the table? Why is saying fish? Because fish is normally smell. Normally fish has a smell, it doesn't like. So when you put on the conflict on the table, people may not like it, but that is the only way to do things. If you put under the table, it will rotten. It will even smell more and will not help actually. So put on the table, talk about it, confront it, listen to the other person, talk and tell about yourself. Keep in mind the cause of our conflict. See, look at the root cause. We discussed in the beginning why, from where these conflicts come. Think about from where this conflict is coming, because we have to strike that. Many times, because these conflicts are quite emotional in nature, we label the person that he is like that. And do not talk about the root cause and do not try to resolve or do not try to strike the root cause. So instead of problem, we talk more about the person who brings the problem. So when a question is raised, instead of seeing who is the right person to resolve it, we just put it on that person. No, that's a difficult thing. Next time I will not. I'm already overloaded actually. Second is reciprocity work. Word is reciprocation. Word is reciprocative. You do for me and I do for you. You call me in my birthday, I call you in my birthday, you call me in your birthday. I have something good, I call you, you will call me when something good is good. Otherwise not. So reciprocity work, talk about if you can give some concession to the other person, do some kind of favor to the person, allow some person to have some breathing space, probably you will get the same thing back. These are the steps which talks about how to achieve a win-win situation. And continue maintain the relation, build and continue maintain relationship. Pacify the person, talks about the relationship, talks about similar things before you strike the things where we do not really go along. Right? Talk about something which can relate us. Talk about something on which we start talking about. Then we can talk about, when we get along on other things, then we can talk about this also. So when you start building relationship, do not bring the conflict in the beginning itself. Does not mean that you do not want to bring the conflict, but you want to set the stage before it can be talked about. These are good points, in my opinion, to achieve a win-win situation. And I think similar to any such thing is approached, probably we can reach a win-win situation. We have some other philosophies also, and we have to look at this. Even very famous, very famous in all over the world, that Chanakya talk about Sam, Dam, Bhed and Dand. Actually, it is generally popular as Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, but actually it is this way. And it goes into this sequence. It goes into this sequence. what Chanakya says, that first go for solution, try to achieve a win-win situation. But Chanakya what said has to be translated into corporate world, because he has written everything for the king, for the kingdom, for running a kingdom, for winning over other kingdom, expanding your kingdom as such. So we have to translate that into the corporate world. The Sam stands for finding a solution. Solution means finding a win-win solution. If you're not finding a solution, do some give and take. Give and take is also, like in the previous slide also, give some concession to the people. Compensate for which the other person is ready to give concession to you. When the conflict will resolve, when we give concession to each other. So if you are expecting something, concession from the other person, give back something. Dhan does not mean money. It's many things which can be exchanged. It's basically a compensation. It's basically reciprocate the which you against what the other person going to give it to you. Now, the second and third probably may not be that valid in our corporate world, because we do not want to fight. We do not want to, these are not enemies. We are not in the corporate, we are not working in the enemies area. So these are written for the enemies. So probably third and fourth may not be applicable that much to us, because we are not going to divide the people and rule us, and we to rule. That may be okay for a king, not for us in the corporate, or we do not want to raise a war against anybody else, right? If you indeed want to do it, you can do it actually, but that is not the thing. But if you have a personal conflict somewhere, try to find out one or two. If you want to put into your personal life, even third and fourth may be useful. But in the corporate world, I will say just give concession to the other two. Look at the Chanakya has another policy, another philosophy actually, which talk about Shadguna. That Shadguna means 6 points actually. So he's talk about few things, talk about Vigraha, Sandhi, Asan, Yan, Sanshray, and the Dadibhav. Now, what he talks about, that if a person is much powerful than you, now this is not this, okay? This is something in the sequence. This is not in the sequence, and this is absolutely situation oriented. Absolutely situation oriented, in which situation you are and what you should do. So first thing is that if somebody really very powerful, some authority, you probably can use your authority to pacify the things. If you are in a strong situation, you probably put the things in, you can use your authority to pacify the things at that moment. May not be a long-term strategy, but short-term strategy, fine. If the person is at the equal, you can see that some kind of I will say collaboration is possible, confrontation is possible, person is at the par with the power or something like that, probably try to reach on win-win situation. That is always preferred, even preferred before this. So they are not in sequence actually. The Sandhi is always preferred. Asan is wait. This is not the right moment to resolve it. Probably we have to wait, achieve the right time, do some kind of groundwork, as the previous person also talked about, that do some kind of groundwork, build it up, create the stage, and then probably talk about it. And say if you can reach to a kind of agreement on the people, right? Yan talking about the attack from the army point of view, from a king point of view, but for us, you get aggressive in a particular moment. You say your aggression, probably if other person aggression, or you see to bring the person down or something like that, or come on the table, probably you have to show the aggression to go and do that. So it is situation based. And then probably a very powerful person in front of you. You probably not in the situation of handling things. Please surrender. So it is called withdrawal. So you withdraw. Most of these things are which are suggested are time being. Do it now. Maybe tomorrow it may be different. So today you are not powerful enough. Surrender it. Wait for the time when you have enough power where you can make an agreement with the other person and bring onto the table. Dvaiti Bhav is mainly about finding a middle path or trying to use another person who can bring an agreement along with the person, bringing another person, some kind of mutual understanding, trying to achieve, which allow us to remain in peace for some time. So these are the various things. Actually, different people have actually has given their suggestions as such, and so let's look back and see what we can do for our case studies. I talk about the things, and like this talk about how we can solve this problem. I will present a one solution. Probably there could be many such solutions. You can come out with like many people have already suggested that what can be done. So what this manager did, I just want to bring this up actually. So manager was good in that sense. He sensed that there are reservations, but they are not coming up. Allowing the people to speak up. He is not using force here. He's trying to collaborate with the people. He's trying to show that I understand you. Okay, let's go with the way which is comfortable with everyone. This is just one solution. There could be many other solutions where you can collaborate with the team members. You can talk to them differently. You can talk to them in a different forum. You can change the question, like this person has changed the question. He has changed the question. The other side, okay, I want you tell me how this project will fail. So I will get to know your reservations. He didn't tell about that, but he allowed people to speak out and give an environment which is safe. You said, this is what I want. So if you speak out, I will like it actually. So when you create an environment, the people start speaking up. Though it was a little hesitation because it was a surprising move. So people may be doubting initially what is happening, but probably looking at the gesture of the manager, they start speaking up, right? Second, we talk about the movie. Let's go back to the movie and see what happens and what actually changed the mind of the people. So I will bring this up. Right. So what happened in this case, the kind of view, kind of vision, or kind of thought process the person has, that does not get translated to the team actually. So team doesn't support because they're not right. So there is a big knowledge gap between the person who is leading and the team. When this knowledge gap got filled, when the people get to know that, the team get to know that what is the other side actually, and what the leader is trying to do, the situation entirely changed. Just upside down. It doesn't take years to change the people. It just takes a moment. And most of the time it happens that way. The people who have changed, done great things, they always change in one moment because they see something which they never seen earlier. So the best way I feel that when you have to resolve the conflict is to provide them information, provide them benefits, tell them the losses if we are not going to do it. And probably just speaking out is not sufficient because people may not believe you. bringing this information from a other source, which is happening here, that the friend is more trustworthy than the father in this case, and the information is coming from a third source. So that's why we call it preaching does not help, but take people on many places, take different places, let have people have experience, they understand their own. So more experience bring the people more knowledgeable than actually preaching. So preaching is fine, but up to certain extent only. So bring that information to the people which probably they are not able to see, which is happening in this case, right? So that vision is not there, and that the loss, that if we are not doing this, what kind of loss we have, where we will end up, and if we do this, where we go. This knowledge comes, the conflict actually gone forever. Look at the other thing. There is another case here. Look at this. Here there is a team member who reach out to project manager and tell that customer has something to be urgently delivered and he's okay with the degraded quality. Why he has come to him? Because he fear that there is a quality manager who will not going to support, because he thinks that in the past we tried to convey our need to that our short cooperation, but we didn't succeed. The perception of the Ganesh is that because with the previous experience, which is generally we are talking about, that he is a stubborn person, he does not cooperate. So if we tell him that customer is wanting it, he still do not allow us to deliver. So Ganesh want Vikas to talk to the quality manager and resolve this. Now, the problem is here, and there is a situation where two people may not agree, and we have to deliver to the customer. Customer is okay with that, but not that. So now, how is this going to be resolved? Any ideas? Any opinions?
One input has come about as a meeting.
Anybody?
I had Vivek. I suggest like here project manager should bring up the quality manager also in to understand this concerns from the whatever quality deficiency whatever this customer is asking, and based on this one we need to again go back to customer, document it, and so that there is acceptance from customer also. So tomorrow we don't have a quality concern raised from customer, because end of the day the product is signed for a scope by a customer. So I think we need to bring in that aspect.
Okay. So basically your suggestion is that the project manager should go to the quality manager, talk to him, try to explain him the situation and bring him on board in alignment with so that he can approve a degraded quality.
No, not degraded quality. We need to understand from him what is concerns, and we have to go back to customer also, document but with the limitations.
Okay. Makes
so
sense.
That I mean, like we are closing the loop. I mean, because the quality manager's concern is that like tomorrow customer should not come back. We keep seeing the real life customer, because of this one or the other time constraint, they'll tell, okay, let's go forward this thing. And after 6 months down the line, when the product is on the field, they'll come back. Then quality manager only will have to face the burn.
Yeah, we'll face the music actually the
Yeah.
way you allow it. So,
Yeah.
so basically, you're talking about project manager talk to team to the quality manager and understand his concerns, and then go back to the customer and talk about it.
Yeah. And we document it. I mean, we close the loop
Yeah,
so
document
that,
it.
yeah.
Okay, okay, it makes sense. I think there is another thing. First, to understand where quality issue is that match serious or it is within acceptable limits. I'm sure it is not acceptable limit. That's why the question is arised. If it is within acceptable limit, probably there is no issue as such. Let's look at it how what Ganesh did actually in this case. So many times conflict just happen because there is no communication or the people are not onboarded as such in the work. So when you involve people in the work, many things get resolved. You know, we talk about that the people don't know the plan, somebody else has imposed the plan, and then so what happened? Something is happening in which the stakeholder, team members, or other people are not involved. The first thing to have less number of conflict or automatically have reduced conflicts is to have people on board and let them participate. You will get rid of many conflicts automatically. You will have left with only few conflicts, which may be personality issues, which may be different intention, different opinion, and many things which are normally just can be communication, understanding, information, such kind of, because of these are arising, they may go away automatically. And many times we just these small issues become very big and may cause a lot of problem in the project. Okay, so I am done for today. So if you have any questions, I will be very happy to respond to them.
I think, sir, you explained the topic very nicely with all the case studies and with keen interest, and all participants, they have contributed through the chat box with their sharings. It was excellent talk, and also the topic which you covered in today's session. So from Department of Manufacturing and Industrial Management, College of Engineering, Pune, I really thank you for this today's excellent session which was being delivered. And really this helps the practitioners, the professionals, how to resolve the conflicts. Whatever topics you covered in excellent way related to from the basics of conflict, the sources of conflicts, then consequences, benefits, and all those tools, processes with the case studies. So it was really an excellent talk, and I thank you for this today's session. From all this Project Managers Club Pune, and from all the participant point of view, and from organizing point of view from College of Engineering, Pune. I thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your kind word, and thanks to all the people who have spared their time and joined here. I hope this information or this presentation would have helped them. Please do let us know your feedback. You can put this onto our WhatsApp group. You can send personally to us also. Thank you.